Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. It is still Saturday, November 2nd, 2019. It has cooled off a little bit, so I have decided I'm going to start a fire. So I figure I might as well show you how I do it here. So basically what I'm going to start off with doing is real simple. I just take like the penny saver that comes in and start crumpling that up. You want to take each piece apart. This is just the way I do it. Just take that each piece apart, open it all the way up, crumple it into that ball. It just works better with getting that fire started. So So, this part's kind of boring, but we'll get to the better part in a minute. So one of the first things I'm going to do when I'm going to get the fire going, I open up the damper down here. I open that up all the way. And I already cleaned the ashes out, so I did that ahead of time so you didn't have to see that part of it. So if you have, hot coals and stuff in there that you want to clean things out, that's why you have, like I have, I'll show you real quick. So I have the bucket here, okay, and if it's hot, this is all cold because I hadn't had a fire going all day, but then you just cover that up, and that's going to keep that contained. And you're not going to have any issues with that. And you can use that ash in your garden to help there. But I always found, like I said, crumpling these up, like I said, opening them up all the way and crumpling them up into a ball, it just works so much better. So earlier this year, you guys probably saw, if you've been watching any of the videos, when I cut up all the wood and then I put it in the splitter, when you're splitting wood, you're always going to have scraps, okay? So what you do is you take those scraps, and I'll show you that, and we have them in buckets, okay? So you take all those scraps from that fire, or from the kindling, or not the kindling, from when you're splitting all that wood, and now that's nice and dry, and that makes perfect fire starting material. So I just take a couple of handfuls of this, and like I said, it's all those little dinky pieces, and I will stick them in there first. So the way I do it here, get my lighter out. So then my next step, I like to make a teepee. So I'll take all these pieces here, and I'll go with the smaller pieces first. Okay, so I'll break them down. And I just start spreading them around inside, but so they're like a teepee kind of configuration. Because what happens then is the fire, once you light the paper and the paper's on fire, the oxygen and all that is going to be underneath, and that teepee that you have is going to stay up, and then that way it all catches on fire, and it works really, really well. That's the way I've always done it, and I've never had an issue with that. So that's how, like I said, that's how I've always done it, and it just works. And And then you work your way up, you get a couple of bigger pieces, all right? I don't know if that's gonna... That one don't want to break. There we go, okay. So you get your bigger pieces, you break them up. So you always want to go with your smaller pieces underneath, your easiest fire starting material. Then after you have that, then you're going to want to get some of the other stuff, a little bit bigger pieces. Then I'll just take those and I stick those in there. And I'll throw one more. Alright, so now we got the damper opened up all the way. We got that burning pile thing in the center, right? The real fine kindling. Smaller pieces, a little bit bigger, and then the bigger pieces at the end. I'm just going to get that started. Then normally what I do, once I get this going, I'll let it get going here for a second. I don't close the door all the way, and I'll show you what I mean. Actually, what I want to do here, so I'm going to clean that glass off a little bit. So I'll show you actually how I do that as well real quick. Alright, so I got this glass that's a little bit dirty. I just take a piece of newspaper and I'll crumple that up. And believe it or not, that works really, really well with cleaning that, and then just throw that in there. So what I'm going to do is, we got things going here now. I close that door, but I'm not latching it, so it's getting that, the airflow is going to be better, as you saw the difference here once it got going. So if I had closed it all the way, it creates that vacuum. But with the door closed, but like a crack like this much open, it ends up working really, really well as far as getting that fire going. I'll probably end up bringing in a few more pieces of wood tonight too, now that I'm looking at what I have here. But you know, I'll probably, let's see. Now notice I'm putting my hand on the top of here. It's not hot yet. That part's starting to get a little warmer. And once this fire gets going, obviously you're not going to want to put your hand on the fireplace. But I've been doing this for so long, I know in that first couple of minutes, now I can start feeling heat already on the top of here, because those flames are kicking up onto that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this one piece and throw it on there. And again, close that off. And that's it. That's how we get that fire going. And from that point, like I said, so what I'll do is I'll let that fire get going really, really well. It's starting to get warmer now on top. I'll let that fire get going really, really well. And it just works out really well. It's actually pretty easy. But if you don't know how to make a fire, obviously it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But this is the easiest way, as far as I'm concerned, to make a fire. I have a ton of penny savers and stuff like that. So that's what I use, you know, advertisements and those type of things. It just works out really, really well. And so you can see that fire, that's not paper burning anymore. That's the fire itself going. And it just, it works like a freaking dream. And then I'll keep that cracked for a little while, like I said, just till the fire's really, really going well. And then, you know, you start adding your bigger pieces in there once you got your base, because then you got your base of hot coals. And it just works well. That's, like I said, that's how I do it. And like I said, you can see that that fire took off. That's going to go, and it's not going to be any kind of issue. All right, so I just wanted to share that with you, something different, a little bit, and showing you how we get a fire going at the homestead. The kettle that you see on top here, all the time, what I'm going to do with that, it's a little bit low right at the moment, so what I'm going to do, this is, with the fireplace, you're going to, it sucks the moisture out of the air, to be honest with you. So what I do is I keep a pot on here all the time, and I always keep it full, and it evaporates, and that moisture goes into the air, so it's not so dry. If I did not have this kettle on the wood stove and going all the time, we would be really, really dry. Believe it or not, you would get nosebleeds and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you have something like that with your wood stove, so that you're you're making sure you're putting that moisture back into the air, because it really makes a big difference. So that, if you're wondering why I keep that on there all the time, that is why. Okay? So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Just a little something different, just showing you how we do it here at the homestead. And you can see that fire is rocking and rolling, and it's doing really, really well. And that's how we do it. It's very, very easy. So anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important to tell the people that you care about every day how you feel. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is you. Nobody else can stop you. It's really important, okay? I will talk to you all later. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.